Welcome to the Gup Shup podcast.
Yep. Gup Shup.
Gup Shup.
Not Gup Shup.
Gup Shup, what does it mean? Like, what's the best way to describe it?
Gup Shup means chit chat.
Yeah, but it's like a
chit chat with some tea.
A bit of tea.
Yeah.
It's a bit more than chit chat. It's like spicy chit chat. Yeah. Okay, so we have a pretty interesting theme. You're the one that came up with it, so I'll let you explain it this time.
Today's theme is Desi Moms and the quirks of Desi Moms.
Oh yeah.
But we respect Desi Moms regardless.
Of course. And this is all in good fun. I actually like this theme a lot because I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this one.
There's just so much content.
There is so much. There's so much to talk about. We can also do like a Desi dads thing, but that's later.
That's later. There'll be lots there too.
All right, so I think you had a nice segment planned. I really want to see this because I'm ready to contribute to this one.
Okay, so this segment, it's called Would Mummy Approve?
Ooh.
So I'll give you I'll say a bunch of prompts and then we'll discuss. Put yourself in like the typical Desi mom or your Desi mom's shoes.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of be like, would our mothers approve of such a concept?
Okay.
And explain.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm ready for this.
Ready? Okay. First prompt, would mummy approve of you bringing a partner home of a different race?
Originally I would say no, but I think recently I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody in my family did marry someone of another race and they're totally chill with it. So I think they'd be okay with it. But then again, maybe it's a case of it's fine over there as long as it doesn't happen here. But I like to say that I think they'd be okay with it.
That's such a common thing. It's like they'll be like, yeah, look, we so support
this
and you guys are so cute together, and when it comes to your own budget, it's like no.
No.
We talked about this, but I think for me it would be, I don't think my mom would approve.
Like unequivocally no? Like no matter
Probably
no
not.
matter what?
I've told you the BMW rule.
That's a pretty common rule.
So BMW stands for Black, Muslim, White.
And again, we're not endorsing this, right?
I'm not endorsing it.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, my mom used to be like, Anjali, no BMWs.
Yeah.
No BMW boys in the house, which is funny
because
it doesn't even include doesn't include all possible races. She just kind of
assume you wouldn't go for them anyway.
Yeah. So I think my mom would definitely not. She wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah.
But she'll be kind of chill, but she'll be like, oh yeah, that's very nice, good for them, but with your own kids, no, she wants Desi. But you know what's crazy though?
What?
One thing I realized is that, at least I think for my mom, it's very much, as long as they're Indian, it's fine.
Okay.
She doesn't care what type of Indian. But there's some girls I know. Actually, it's Gujarati girls too.
Really?
I don't know if this is common in Gujarati households, but there's some girls I know where their families are so strict, not just about the race, but about what type of Indian they are and the caste system. Still, even in Canada.
Like the caste system, even to this day?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know why actually. There's this, not really a theory, I think it's been proven, but people, like immigrants, they kind of stay stuck in the time that they immigrated out of their country from. Mm-hmm. So I'm not obviously now we're older, so even if somebody immigrated from India 20 years ago, the caste system even then was kind of weakening. It wasn't that prevalent. Mm-hmm. But if somebody immigrated from India 40 years ago or 50 years ago, they're still stuck in that time mentally.
But it's so sad.
It is sad.
Because
that's the reason.
I remember a long time ago, I don't remember who it was actually anymore, but I was talking to this girl on the LRT, and she was Gujarati, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her and I asked her do you have a boyfriend? And she was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And her boyfriend was Gujarati. Right? And I'm like, oh, good for you. I'm like, do your parents know? She's like, no, we're dating for now, but we know it won't work out, so we'll have to break up soon.
Really?
And I was like, why? And then she was like, he's from this other caste, and my family says you specifically have to get married within our caste system. And I was like, that's just crazy. And I'm surprised.
They knew that she knew she was going to break up, and she was like,
yeah,
okay. That's even weirder.
I know. It's so sad. It's even in undergrad, I remember, this is I guess different, this makes sense, but there was this Indian guy I know, and he was dating a Muslim girl, and they both really liked each other.
Yeah.
And then I remember hearing they were saying oh, we're gonna break up next year. I'm like, Why?
Planned breakup.
Yeah, it was a planned breakup. I'm like, why?
In the calendar and
And
everything.
they're like, because it won't work out. I'm like, but do you guys like each other? They're like, yeah. I'm like,
dang, that's sad.
but like, okay, I understand like Hindu, Muslim, that's a bit harder to convince, but like, come on.
Even within like
You're
the
like
same
both
same
Gujarati,
language, same
right?
culture, pretty much. Just the caste thing. Yeah, the caste system. I don't know why that thing even still exists today. Humans just find a reason to divide no matter what.
Yeah.
Like even within the same race.
But like, I think for my mom specifically, I don't think she's not extreme to like caste system or like type of Indian.
Yeah.
But man, like BMW,
I think
even
that's her
and
one
even
rule.
then, like if it was like, I don't think she would. Worst case, I don't think she would have minded like maybe me bringing home like a white partner, as long as they're not Muslim. It's just conservative thoughts.
There's
still.
a lot of built up animosity between Muslims and Hindus. So.
So okay.
Generational. What would you call it? Like generational racism, generational hatred. Yeah, it's still prevalent, unfortunately.
Okay, next prompt. So here for this prompt, you have to assume you have an iPhone.
Okay. That's going to be hard.
And you have Find My iPhone on your phone, and your mom has access. So
Okay.
would mommy approve of you asking to turn off your location?
Mine, yes.
Really?
She doesn't track me right now.
But if
in
she,
any
but
way,
maybe
shape, or form.
maybe your mom doesn't know how to track you.
Even if she did, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't. You're
No.
very certain.
I'm
about
very
it.
certain.
So this is brown boy privilege.
It's not boy.
Brown boy privilege.
I think you're just this very special case in the brown girl camp. I don't think most people don't get tracked.
I'll say my mom would not approve of that. If I asked if I can turn off my location.
Well, it's because you've been doing it for so long. So if you ask to turn it off, it looks very sketch.
The tears start coming down.
She's like, what are you trying to do?
She's like, why do you want to turn off your location? What are you doing?
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, so if we're not doing anything wrong, then don't turn off your location.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like, I know I'm not doing anything wrong. You should know I'm not doing something wrong. It's just more a matter of privacy and trust. And then it goes into like, but what if you go in a car accident? What if somebody kidnaps you? In those moments, then somebody needs to know where you are. And then, then
you can't
the emotional blackmail starts.
You can't rebuttal that because it's like coming from a place of caring about your safety.
But, moms are extreme when it comes
Very
to
extreme, yeah.
It's in our family for sure. Like mom, aunts, right? They like, the tracking is there.
They did it for your cousin as well?
Yeah.
They really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then it's in our, my cousin, brother and sister when they were here over the summer.
Yeah.
I was talking to them and it was just so funny because I didn't realize it was like more universal than I thought. Because like the struggle of me and my older brother, right? Like older brother, you'd expect at least like
Your
for
brother
him.
So it's not a brown boy thing like you were
I
saying
guess,
before.
yeah. So like for my older brother, like we're not allowed to turn off our locations. Our moms, like, we need to see it, right? When my cousins came, they were talking about how my mom was the reason their mom found out about it.
Referral program?
I remember she came and she's like, actually, because of Masi, Masi was on the phone with my mom and told her about Find My iPhone. And she's like, since then, that's it, right? Like, Zindagi,
no.
like, there you go, right?
So how do they get around it? Because
they can't. So then, that's why I realized it was universal, especially for people who do get tracked with their brown moms. And then we were talking, and then I was talking to them, and they're like, yeah, man, like, we want to turn our location off. But mom will start crying, and she'll be like, if you guys don't have anything to hide, why turn your location off? It's just for my peace of mind. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand. But, like, at one point, you just need to, like...
You need to, like, let go of it at one point.
If my mom sees this, I'm going to get killed.
No, I mean, I've been very clear about this. I'm absolutely against that kind of tracking stuff. Like, because it can be abused really easily.
Yeah.
Like,
but
not even for your parents. I'm saying, like, sure, your parents can, whatever. But even if somebody else gets their hands on it, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's not something, I don't think it's safe.
But, like, I understand both perspectives. Like, I understand my mom's perspective and my own and as a child.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. But I think there's this lack of self-control. Like, yes, you can have the ability to track your kids, but you shouldn't be tracking them every single day. It should only be used for emergencies.
And honestly, it should be like, if you want to track me, call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Just ask me where I am. Yeah. What I want to do, I think this would be a great prank, is just take your phone and somehow, well, you'd have to be with it obviously, but just go to like a sex shop or something, and just see what happens.
No.
Just see what like, because that's their worst.
I'm gonna get chippered. That's what I'm.
That's their worst nightmare, isn't it? If they're like, why is this person in? Actually, I don't even know any like names of them, but like we'll look them up. But I think that'd be a great prank.
No, I would not do that.
And like they show up and it's just your phone there, and then you're just outside with a camera. It's like, you didn't trust me, did you?
No. Okay.
Wait, do you have another prompt?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, for this one, I want to do devil's advocate. So like whatever it is, whatever my opinion is, you have to like take the opposing side and try to justify it.
I'll try.
And like it's not.
But it's not my opinion. We're talking about our moms.
But it's like debate. So you have to like become the other side.
Okay.
It'll make it interesting.
The next prompt: would mommy approve going out to a party till late at night?
Yes. Again, depends on the party, but the kind of parties I'm going to, there's not much happening.
That's true.
Literally, the last, I guess, closest thing to party I'd say was like 4 friends at my friend's apartment, and we ordered Domino's. The craziest thing that happened was we ordered brownies too this time. So.
I don't think. I think for me now it's different. I think now my mom is more lenient.
Yeah.
Before maybe not, but even then, like she's lenient, but to an extent, where it's like I'll be out late, but then she'll be like worried and texting me, calling me. So it's very like a gray area. Like, yes, I got the permission, but at what cost? Right?
It's like a meter. As you get closer and closer to the like deadline, it's like it ramps up.
Yeah,
the pressure ramps up.
Exactly. Then I get like, where are you? When are you coming? Right?
Yeah. Who's there?
So
I guess like who's there is like a before going there kind of question. So you're not gonna ask who's there while you're there.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one thing. I think Desi Moms do this a lot, but I don't know if your mom does this. Has your mom ever asked? So if you're going to a party late at night or just anywhere, has she ever asked for your friends' numbers and contacts?
No.
My mom does that. She did that. Not as much anymore, but I think when I was in high school, she used to do that a lot, where she'd be like, okay, I need a list of everyone who's coming and their phone numbers.
Manifest.
So like that's why she has your phone numbers and all our friends in her phone. But maybe your mom doesn't have it of all of your friends.
No.
So she just has them ready so she can reach out to them. But it's like, I remember one time we were going out and then she was like, I need your friends' contacts. And first I was like, why? And then I was like, okay, I think it was like 5 of us hanging out. I'm like, okay, I'll give you, like one girl was there and I was like, I'll give you her number.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I need all of their number. I'm like, you just need the one girl's number.
Is it the safety thing again?
I think so. Like she's just like.
What if that girl like is like somehow incapacitated? I need to call the other person to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, it just like, the overthinking goes to like, hi, like this happens to her. And then this friend happens, then we contact the third friend that something happens to them, we go to the 4th friend.
I feel like at that point, you should just call the police.
Yeah.
It's like 3 friends out of 5 are unconscious for whatever reason. I think the 4th one might be okay.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's like the protective instinct.
But you're right. I think it depends also on the type of party.
Yeah.
But like, even then, what was it? It was like, I think maybe it was last year. I was at Garba.
Yeah.
Till late.
Yeah.
And then even then, she's like, my mom was getting worried and she's like calling me, texting me. What's going to happen at Garba?
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Bad stuff happens at bigger events.
Really?
Well, think about it. There's just more places to hide, a lot more people, a lot more confusion. It's like if you're at a concert, that's where you're likely going to get like...
Garba's not a concert.
Well, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you're at a concert, like a big type of... First of all, Garba pretty much is, if you think about it. It's
like
it's a more dangerous concert.
It's supposed to be a religious event.
It's supposed to be. But once they got them celebs like singing the Garba, that's it. It's a concert atmosphere. It's actually more dangerous than a concert because everyone's moving around. They're not just sitting down. I got nailed in the head one time as a kid because of this like auntie just going wild, you know?
Yeah.
Just wee, and then bang! Seeing stars, man. Everything just turned black. I was like, where am I?
I know, one time I went to Garba and I came home with like the randomest bruise on my stomach. I'm like, how do you even manage to get hit on your stomach?
Auntie's going like this, man.
They're doing their yoga.
They put their arms out and then bang! They got hard elbows. Can you imagine?
Most of them are really short auntie considering.
Well, you're pretty tall for a brown girl. But can you imagine just like you're having fun Next thing you know, some auntie just flossing over you.
Okay, next prompt. Would mommy approve of you wanting to call guests or friends over?
Of course. Yes. As long as the house is clean.
That's what I was gonna get. I'm like, yes, but then every aspect of the house has to be clean.
Even your room.
Yes.
Even your own room.
And it doesn't make sense because it's like, you have to clean your room. I'm like, you know all those jokes? Like, the guests are not gonna come and go running right to your room being like, and then you have to clean the closet, right? They're not gonna open your closet and be like, let's see this girl's closet. Is it organized or is everything folded, right?
I feel like if guests opened your closet, they would just get covered in an avalanche of clothes.
Okay, but regardless, it's just like, it's funny because you have to clean every aspect of the house. If I'm calling friends over, I'm gonna tell my friends, we're hanging out in the living room or the basement.
That's it.
You're staying there.
Yeah.
And I don't have the type of friends that are gonna go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
there's respect in that case. They're not gonna barge in a room and inspect it.
Okay, but I think sometimes they have a point, like moms, because like when my cousin brother came during the summer, I think I had like something, I don't know, I was busy with something, so I couldn't clean my room the day he came. And my mom was like telling me over and over again, like, make sure your room's clean. And I'm like, it's okay, like, he's not gonna run to my room right away. And then I just like, you know, like he left the city for a few days and then came back and my room was still not clean. And I was thinking, it's not a big deal, like I'll clean it soon and I'll show him. And then it was the first time I think I experienced where he got up and he's like, Chalo, let's see a home tour. And I was like, brother, can we do it? It
happened.
I was like, brother, can we do it tomorrow? And then I was just like, I'm gonna be real with you. My room's a mess. I'm like, give me a day, let me quickly organize it.
But even if they see the room is a mess, what's that gonna do? Like, maybe
I guess that's different. That's like my brother. It's a little brother, so it's okay.
But like I'm saying, like their room's also gonna be a mess. Like they're not gonna be clean 100% of the time either. They'll understand if they see your room's a mess.
Yeah, but you know, like it's the reputation. It's gonna be like, what will they say? They're gonna think my kid is dirty. We're not organized, right? They don't care about their own. They're not gonna look at themselves.
It's like a family honor system. It's like if you make me look bad.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Oh yes.
Would mommy approve of you wanting to move out?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, no, because I've spent like 4 years in Ontario.
Okay, I
like
guess.
I've been moved out.
Yeah, it's different for you.
School. I guess again for school it is probably different as well. But I guess it depends on the reason, right? If I'm just like, I'm sick of all you bloody Desis, I'm out of here, then that's like, okay, that's obviously wrong.
Yeah.
But if it's like, yeah, I have enough to sustain like a household, probably good to invest in real estate anyways at this time, right? Better to invest early, so there's an economic aspect as well. Mm-hmm. And also I think they kind of just want you to grow up as well. Learn to make your own food.
But I think moms have like this whole like empty nest syndrome situation.
Yeah.
It's like, look at my brother. My brother's, you know, he's out there. He's out there. He's already kind of living on his own. But now he's finishing his school. He's going to start residency. Mm-hmm. And he was thinking about like where to apply. And I was encouraging my brother. I was like, hey, just do wherever you want. If you want to go and stay in Calgary, do Calgary. If you want to go elsewhere, if you think you want to come to Edmonton, come to Edmonton. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like pressurized.
Yeah.
And then there's my mom at the back. And she's like, he's going to get into Edmonton. He's going to get into Edmonton. For it. And then she's like, and then she's ready for him to come home, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, you know, again, it's up to him. I don't know if he does like, but you know, if you want to move out,
you should be able to.
You can move out, right?
Feel comfortable doing that.
But I understand again my mom's perspective because she was like, he's gonna be busy. I want to make sure like I can help him out at home with all the food. And everything. That
makes sense because during a residency you're already being overworked.
Exactly. So I get that. I get that reasoning, but I think it's not just I think my mom's okay in that sense. Like she would be pretty okay with. It'll be hard. Like you know, it'll be an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. Like when my brother moved out for the first time kid left the house. Man, it was rough the first few months.
Like left for good, not just like this is temporary. Like
no, like what, he left for his 3 years of school.
But like that was for 3 years of school. Like even if it's like 3 years, which is a long time, it's still this is only for those 3 years. Once you move out for good, then it's like it becomes permanent.
Yeah. Yeah. So that wasn't really for good, and yet my mom was already like. It took her some time, mm-hmm. and then she was okay, you know, because you still have one kid. Yeah. I can't imagine like if I left the house, you know. Then it would have been even harder. Yeah. So, but I think other people's brown moms, it's a big range. Like there's some brown moms that will be like, can't move out. Like they want their kids to stay in the house with them.
Like even after marriage even.
Oh yeah.
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 That's
Even still in Edmonton, like in Canada, sorry.
That's crazy.
So
I can't imagine like after getting married, living with parents. Like it just feels like
oh yeah.
it just feels weird.
That's a no. That's a no. Okay, last one. Are you ready? This is a funny one.
This is gonna be okay. I'm ready.
It's a funny one because you know my stories about this with my mom.
Oh boy.
Would mommy approve of you having a gay bestie?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know if my mom knows what gay people are. Like, I'm sure she knows, but like, I don't think she's.
Have you never talked to your mom about like LGBTQ people?
No, it's never come up in conversation.
My mom's so cute when it comes to LGBTQ. It's like she's like in between the line of like, you know, uncomfortable, but trying to stay respectful. I can't. I want a gay bestie. I think I met so many people who are like LGBTQ from the community.
Yeah. And
I fully like support it. Like I had nothing against that. But sometimes like, you know, they're so fun to talk to, and it's like having like a nice, you know, like I don't know, not all of them, but some of them are very like helpful.
Yes.
I can't think of the right word, but it's just like really nice to have.
Let me just put it out there. They know their fashion sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just put it out there.
No.
I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but generally, if you have a gay best friend, for a girl especially,
oh yeah,
they're gonna help you with their fashion.
No, a gay best friend, especially like whatever, like a gay person will always, every time I've met one, always have way better makeup skills than me, and I'm like, man, I want to learn from you, right? So, but it's just like for my mom, I think it's funny because if I had a gay bestie, I think her world would just turn upside down because it's like not even like she doesn't know how to process her feelings. It's like a tornado goes on in her head. Yeah. And she's like, okay, wait.
It's like, what do I say? What do I say?
Hold on, right? Like, what do I call them? Right?
Yeah. They don't just realize it's a normal person.
Yeah.
You just got to talk to them like a normal person.
Yeah. One time she's like, "Inna de kuch ilaj hondi hai?" No. And I was like, Mom, that's who they are.
You can't say that. It's like, what did he say?
If my mom said some of these things, she'd get canceled.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man.
It's like
I think parents get a pass in general for this kind of stuff.
No, because
they're grandfathered in, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I understand because like they grew up without these concepts. Mm-hmm. These are concepts that came more in our generation.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to kind of like understand it. But it's just, I find it so entertaining sometimes. But
watching them tiptoe around?
Yeah, it's like they're walking on eggshells. Yeah. And like, so like, you know how you say your mom doesn't really like, you don't know, my mom, for instance, like, we went to Sephora once and there was this person helping us out and he was like he was gay. Like,
well, you don't
know for sure, but that's what I was thinking.
Like the score was high.
The score was high.
Yeah.
And then, like they were so nice.
Yeah.
And then we left, and and then when we left Sephora, like they helped us out with makeup and everything. When we left, I remember I was talking to my mom. I'm like, oh my god, that worker was so nice, right? And then and then in the conversation, I'm like, yeah, like I think he was gay, and my mom was like, how do you know? Do you have like? And then she literally was like, do you have this like? Do you guys have like the special way of telling? And I was like, I don't know, but like, I thought so.
The signs are there, yeah.
And then she was like, oh, she's like, so if I ask you about anybody, you can tell.
She just wants to use you.
You know, she wants to get the little like gauge beforehand.
Oh yeah, I relate to your mom in that sense. Yeah. Because my gaydar is very bad. Yeah. Like.
Your friend.
Yeah, during college, I didn't know one of my friends was gay, so it was like fourth year. Like I met this guy in first year. Go through 4 years of college. Like he wasn't in my major, so I didn't have many classes with him. But like you still see him around, right? You still talk to him at like lunchtime or whatever. And then all the way through this college, nothing happened. And then fourth year, during like the final like grad like ball or whatever, he introduces me to his boyfriend. And I was like, oh, how did I not know about this for 4 years? So I'm terrible with I can relate to your mom in that sense. I'm getting better at it, I think. Yeah. Because I think part of it is just me not trying to judge, like jump to conclusions.
That's true.
But sometimes you gotta do some jumping, you know? You gotta get that exercise in.
But I just love seeing like, like it's like you put anybody from the LGBTQ community in front of my mom or like Desi Moms in general. And then it's like, I don't know what happens. It's like they freeze And then in their head, I just like, I wish I could look inside their heads.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, Inside Out, there's all those emotions.
Yeah.
They're all just fighting each other, like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?
So what do I say?
What do I say? Like, I'm so confused. So, and like, they're still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? They won't say it. Like, my mom's so scared of saying the word gay. So, one time, she made an allegation.
An allegation?
Towards
she
me.
made an accusation.
Yeah. She thought I was... I don't... You know, like you get girlfriend issues, whatever, right? Like I have it all the time. And then one time she just like, I don't know, she thought it was really like serious. So she thought I was lesbian.
Oh yeah.
And then she comes up to me and she was like, Anjali, like, and it was funny because I can tell something was bothering her for a few days and she was probably making up all these stories in her head. Comes up to me one day and she's like, I'm in my bed. She sits next to me and she's talking to me. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, Mom. She's like, okay, well, I've been meaning to ask you something. And I was like, like, what's going on? She's like, are you, you know? I'm like, what? About what? She's like, you know, oho. And I'm like,
just saying noises.
I'm like, what's oho, right? She's like, oho, oddeje. I'm like, what does oddeje mean? And then she like pauses and she's like, are you like, you know, GAY? And then I sit there, I'm laying down, I'm like, gay? No, Mom, I'm not.
He's like, are you sure?
And then she, like, you know, when I say it out loud, she just goes like, don't say it. like me saying it's not going to turn me gay.
Yeah.
I just love, I just find it funny how uncomfortable they are. And I think gay people, or people in general from the community, it's not just, I think it's not just like Indian moms. I think it's like South Asian mothers in general, even like Asian mothers. I think this is a very common thing for a lot of people around the world. But I think the community is they already know that this is an uncomfortable topic for some of them. So I've heard stories where they're just like, you know, if they introduce themselves to like an auntie, the auntie's uncomfortable, they won't take it like personally. They'll kind of just like laugh because they'll be like, I get it, like it's fine.
I guess it's like a first time for them. It might be their first time seeing, because I don't think my mom's ever met a gay person.
Really?
I don't think so at all.
Maybe we should introduce your mom to a gay person just to see her reaction.
I think, first of all, I think my mom would actually really get along with a gay person.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I think that's
because my mom likes making conversation.
Yeah.
So I think her main focus is on making good conversation. It doesn't matter who it's with. But
we should introduce your mom.
Find out.
We should introduce your mom to like, someone like, that'd be interesting.
Recruiting gay people for mom conversations.
So I think that was my last prompt.
Okay.
For Would Mummy Approve?
That's a good one. That's a good segment. I like that.
So before we start with our question rounds, I had like one more concept I just wanted to ask you in general about.
Okay.
Or not, it's not asking, but it's like I wanted to know if you have a similar experience.
Okay.
So, you know when you have guests over to your house, I don't know if this relates to you being a guy and being in a household with just two boys, but when guests come over to your house, you know, like your Desi mom or South Asian mother will tell you, hey, get up, bring some water for them, bring some tea. Have you ever? Yeah, that's happened. I'm sure maybe,
yeah. Of course.
So like bring water, or you know, you have to, you're expected to help out when you have guests over.
Yes.
So one thing I find crazy, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but when you're a guest at someone else's house, your mom will still look at you and be like, get up and help. Have you ever had that happen?
Not for like getting up and helping, but for cleaning up and stuff, yeah. Like she won't say like go and get the refreshments for the start of the gathering, but after you finish with your plate, she'll be like, you know, put it to the sink yourself, don't just leave it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But like you know, grab everyone's plates and wash it.
No,
my mom doesn't do that because she knows I'm gonna say no. But it's just like I find it so funny because if like guests are at your house, your mom will be like, you're not allowed to get up. Stay seated. You're a guest. You're gonna be treated like a guest.
Yes.
Me and my children
will serve you. Yes.
And imagine you doing all that.
Say, run it back. Run it back.
And then you go to that same guest house.
Just like we practiced.
Yeah. And then your mom's like, all right, come on, take Montu Chacha's and whatever Seema dishes, take it to the sink and wash it. Right?
It's like the guest experience while you're a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen people do that. My mom does not do this, but I've seen other moms do it to their kids. My mom, okay, maybe like once in a while she would, and I would just sit at the dinner table and look at her and be like,
It's like, girl, stop. It's like, stop.
I'm like, really? Like, what happened to guest treatment? We're guests. Right? I'm like, they have young children themselves. Get them to stand up. Get them to stand up.
Yeah.
And usually this will happen in households where that family's children won't get up and do anything. So then your mom just volunteers you. Like, go volunteer those kids.
Yeah, they should.
It annoys me. It was my rant, but.
I haven't noticed it, so I'm lucky here, I guess. I'm not being like sent out.
Okay.
I'm not being deployed.
I had to ask about that. Okay, but you have your questions?
I have my questions ready.
So we'll go one at a time. Use first.
We're supposed to do 3 questions, but I wrote 5 just in case. So let me just quickly read through them again, find some good ones. Okay, I think this is a good one to start off with. You have to define the term Desi Mom as poetically and in as few words as possible. Go.
Oh man.
Like the essence of Desi Mom.
Oh
like,
man.
You know, like mothers, they're carrying and all that stuff. But then
poetically?
Does
it have to rhyme?
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant to like distill the essence of the Desi Mom experience from your perspective in like one phrase.
That's hard. Could you not give me an easier one?
Okay, how about we come back to that one?
Okay,
I'll go with other questions first. Okay, what superpowers do Desi Moms have? Because I have a couple in my head right now.
Oh man, mind reading.
Mind reading?
Mind reading. It's crazy. There'll be like moments where I'm sitting with my mom, and then she'll be like, I'll be thinking about something, or like maybe I'm thinking about my plans for tomorrow, and she'll be like, oh, are you gonna be doing this tomorrow? And I'll look at her and I'm like, did I tell you about my plans? She's like, no. And then I said, I'm like, did she read my phone messages? Like, what's going on?
Is she hacking into your like
yeah. Or I'll be like on my way home and I'll be like, oh man, I'm really craving this one Desi dish, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm really craving like gopi or like noodles.
Yeah.
And I come home and
it's ready.
It's ready.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, Mom, how'd you know? And she'll be like, I'm a mom, I just know. Right? So that's definitely one. Mind reading.
Mind reading, okay.
I think, would this be a superpower? I don't know. I think selective hearing is a superpower. So like, I don't spend that much time in my room, but when I do, or like if I'm in the basement or if I'm in my room, my mom will call out my name and she'll be like, Anjali, Nichiaja. Or like if I don't, and then I'll be like, I'll respond. I'll be like, Mom, no response. And then I'll be even louder. Like, Mom, I'll be there in a minute. Still no response, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like 3-4 times. Like, you were just yelling at me. How do you not hear me now? And then I'll go all the way downstairs, go up to her. And I'll be like, Mom, I was calling you like 3-4 times. I'm like, I was saying I need 5 minutes. She's like, oh, now you're here, so let's just do what you're doing, right? So I think that's like they're hearing.
I think they're just trying to lure you in.
Yeah, they'll pretend like they can't hear you.
They can
and then
definitely
they'll
hear
like force you to come to them.
Yeah.
To do something, right? Or they'll call out your name and be like, I need something, and then you'll be like, what? What do you need? And then you won't.
Silence.
And then silence. And then you'll come downstairs and they'll be like, can you pass me that? I'm like, can you turn off the light? I'm like, Mom.
This is like you could have done this yourself.
Yeah. So I think those are 2 I can think of. What do you think?
I have one.
Yeah.
And that's like fire immunity. I don't know.
Man.
I don't know if it's like from
the
roti. They can just put their entire hand on the. They can just like just roasting their hands on an open flame and nothing happens. And then meanwhile, I like touch it by accident, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah. I know. I see my mom going like this on the roti, and I'm like, what, woman?
Oh my goodness.
Or like like if you feel like a Desi mom's like, especially when moms that cook a lot, you feel their thumbs. Like you should feel your mom's thumb. Mm-hmm. Rough.
Really?
Rough.
Why the
it's
thumb?
Like hard. Because when they cut sabjiya.
Oh yeah, they do it on their. That's crazy. I don't understand. I never understood that skill. Like they hold the thing and they cut it like this. Like
So my mom has like so many like tiny cuts on her thumb that it's just like healed up, and now her thumb is really hard and like rough.
It's like the cutting board. The thumb is the cutting board.
No, literally, and it's crazy. So
I have to because my mom's hands are generally like soft.
But you should feel your mom's thumbs, unless she uses a cutting board.
No,
but if she does this, like you'll feel it. Like my mom, like I can feel it, and you can still see like lines or something of like cuts that she gets on her thumbs. Insane. Like,
I never understood why do that though. Like, is it much faster or is it just like more convenient? Like, what's the benefit of doing it with your cutting in your hand?
man, I don't know. I think it's just like a brown or Asian mom thing. Like, you know, you can do it right over the pot.
That's true. Yeah.
Just cut, like slice. It goes in there rather than doing it on a cutting board and then throwing it in.
Yeah.
So.
And they're pretty fast with it now. Like crazy. Yeah,
All right.
I'm putting that in. Thumb cutting. No, that sounds weird.
You should wait. Thumb cutting board.
Thumb cutting board. Yes.
Okay. Is that it for your question? Can I ask mine?
That was one. That was two questions. I have one more.
We're going back and forth.
Yeah, that's alternate, yeah.
Okay. I specifically put this question in because I know you have stories about it.
Oh boy.
Do you find your mom trash talking about you to others or praising you like crazy?
Well, of course, it depends on the situation. You know, it's a flexible boat.
Yeah.
Whenever there is praise needed, there will be praise delivered in excess.
In excess.
My beta did this 10 years ago. And I'm like, I don't think that's even relevant anymore. But I think whatever she chooses to do, she does 100%. If there needs to be some Besti done, she'll go after the Besti. If there needs to be some praise done, she'll go after it 100%. So in terms of stories, well, there's always the generic. Whenever there's a brown family get together, there's always the kid bragging around. It just inevitably happens where it's like, all right, get all the kids lined up, start comparing them.
Yeah.
Which
like
one's on top?
My beta Golu, he won top honors in school 3 times.
Yeah, of course. That's like academic bragging is always a good surefire way to go. You got to brag about something everybody values.
Yeah.
And in like brown communities,
academics
is definitely something. Like sure, you could brag about like my son won this race, and it'll be like, oh, nice.
They'll be like, whatever.
Cool.
When it comes to sports,
it's getting better now, actually.
With sports,
I think again these are trends that we're witnessing evolution in real time. Because once brown parents started watching Olympics and like sporting events, and like seeing Indian like cricketing being successul, then they're like, you know what? Maybe there is something like physical fitness.
I don't know, man. If I watch Olympics with my parents, I just get reminded. They're like
it's
useless.
It's like this girl's 16.
This girl's 16. She can do a somersault. You can't.
But first of all, academic is always going to be A1. And then I think sports is getting there. Like physical achievements is getting there. And then like extracurricular clubs and stuff. Like if you volunteer at a place that's like high profile, like at a hospital.
Yeah.
They'll mention that.
I agree. I think my mom will praise me to others for sure. Praise say praises about me like, yeah, like this is my daughter's in like a good school, she's in a good program, she works alongside of it, right? She has a nice hobby. So there'll be praise there. But I think from what I've experienced, I think where the real insults come for a kid, for me at least, will be when your moms are talking to their sisters, their mussies.
Ooh.
That's when all the trash talking comes up. Internal
agree,
trash.
Yes, no, you're right. It's
right?
internal.
To like others, you gotta show like, yeah, my kid, the best, right? Talk to the mussie, talk to your sister, and then they're gonna be like, oh, like Anjali ne pata nahi ki, like ki lazy bandi hai, she just sits around all day, doesn't do anything. But then to the other person, like my daughter, she's working, she is in school, she's studying. Like I'm so proud of her. Goes to Masi and being like she can't even get up to get a glass of water. And then you hear this because it trickles down, right? So she'll tell my Masi, and then Masis will tell like her kids, and then the kids will come to me and be like, "I heard you do these things." I'm like, "Where are you hearing these?" They're like, "We have sources." I'm like, "My mom." That's where the trash talking comes. Not all the time, of course. Like I know she'll praise.
Yeah.
But that's where, and sometimes it's funny, right? Because I'm wondering, what are you telling them?
Yeah. I think it's classic like military strategy. It's like within the unit, you're ruthless.
Yeah.
You make sure everybody's like, you point out deficiencies. But when it comes to showing off your unit to other people, it's all the good stuff.
Like, perfection.
It's optics. I think they're very like military minded. I think Desi Moms.
Man, but among Besties, it's just funny. It's just so funny. Like the trash talking is so real.
Oh, I think it's in good spirit though.
Yeah.
It's not like
sometimes I'll be like, if I hear trash talking about other kids from their moms,
you'll lap it up.
I'll be like, give me some more. Let me hear it. I'm like, it'll be like stuff like, मेरे बेटा को कुछ कुड़ी नहीं मिलती पे. Like he's not finding a girl.
Oh yeah.
He's getting old. I'm telling him, सारी कुड़ियाँ booked होंदे पे, right? They're getting all booked up.
And then your mom's like, is he full? Like, is he?
Yeah. And then my mom, I feel to the parents like, did you make sure he's not GAY though?
I think your mom's done that, hasn't she?
No, not to others.
Not to others.
No, but I find it funny though. It's like funny trash talking to mussies, but sometimes it's like, come on, like, you know, you don't have to tell all of the things that we did.
Keep them under wraps.
You know, if we have an argument, like daughters and Desi moms will argue a lot.
Yeah.
And that information gets passed along.
Divulged. There's no confidentiality agreement.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll have to call my mussie up myself and be like, hold on. I don't know what my mom told you, but let me tell my side of the story now. Cause like sometimes I'm like, I feel like I need to justify myself. And then I remember one time my mom and I argued and we're both like, it was like a bad argument. We're both in tears. And then she calls like my mom, second mom, but mussie. She calls her and she is telling her all about it. And then I think I overhear somewhere else, and I overhear she's telling her. And I come downstairs, and then I pick up her phone, and I'm like, I'm calling her right now, and I'm telling her my side of the story. Yeah. It's just funny, because when we fight, sometimes in the serious fights near the end, we act like kids. And then she'll be like, fine, do it. I don't care. I'm like, okay, I'll call her, put it on speakerphone. I'll be like, Mom, or Mus. I call my mussie Mom. So I'll be like, Mom, I need to tell you something, okay? My side of the story. And then obviously my side of my mom has tears. And then she'll be crying. I'm complaining about her in front of her. And then she'll look at me and then she'll start smirking.
That's my daughter.
No, not because of that. She knows that she purposely kept things out of the conversation of her side of the story to her, and she knows now I'm exposing her, right? So she's like smiling because she's like, dang, like I'm getting exposed here. So.
I can imagine some like.
And then I'll be like, why are you laughing? And she'll start laughing and crying at the same time. She's like, "Tu mere hi band bata de right?"
That's a good one.
Yeah, internal. Yeah, I think insult internally, praising externally.
Yes, that's the classic. That's the SOP. That's standard operating procedure. Okay, man, my cheeks are.
Okay, what's your question?
I'm gonna say, are Desi Mom quirks inevitable? Like, do you think, like, we're obviously talking about it right now as if they're like, you know, I can't imagine this being me. But do you think it's just something that eventually
like I'll probably
you'll adopt? Yeah.
Oh, I always think that. You know, I always say no.
Yeah.
And then whenever I say like I'll talk to my mom, I'll be like, I will never do that when I have kids. The dialogue will be, just you wait till you become a mother. She's like, just wait till you become a mother, and then you're gonna look back and you're gonna think of me and be like, you're gonna appreciate me and you're gonna say, wow, that's why my mom did all those things, or like that's why my mom you said those things.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna be my own person, like whatever.
But then you think it's like, wait a minute.
But then I hear like even our generation, like people who are a little older than us, who are becoming moms, who said these same things that I say to my mom, like I will never be like that.
Yeah.
They're not noticing that their moms are right. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is a cycle that you can't get out of.
It's like inevitable, yeah.
But like I think some Desi mom quirks that I would get is like, you know, like the look.
Like the evil eye?
No, like the look. So one thing about Desi moms that I think specifically or Asian mothers, that they really got it down compared to like non-South Asian mothers, is you can take your kid in public, and you know sometimes kids will like take them to Toys R Us or whatever, Mastermind Toys, and they want a toy and you say no, and then they start crying on the floor.
Yeah.
Desi moms, all they have to do is just give this look. Like, you know, like cut, like very big eyes, and they'll be like,
yeah.
They're like,
the big eye, yeah.
Like, and like, they don't even have to say anything. They just give you the look, and you already know what they're saying. They're pretty much saying like, don't you dare make a scene right now. Don't you dare keep arguing with me. If I said no, no means no. Okay. And then the kid will just be quiet and keep going. It's
that military doctrine.
And I feel like, you know, as much as it's kind of traumatizing, it's kind of effective.
It is.
Like, I would rather, I want to be a chill mom, but like, do I want to be a chill mom to the point where like my kids get to throw tantrums and I'm gonna be like, oh, let's sit down on the floor of this shopping mall and talk about your feelings and let's discuss how we can get past that. Like, yes, we will, like, yeah, but maybe like I think the look is kind of nice.
I think it's a healthy medium.
Yeah.
It's not like as bad as pulling out the slipper.
And I notice I do that already, like especially to like the kids I teach dance to. Well, I'll give them the look.
Not just kids.
Yeah, okay. Whatever, tell them too. I'll give them the look and be like, don't you dare.
I mean, it's pragmatic, you know? You gotta get something across really quick.
I think that's like a Desi Mom quirk, like I would probably, or I am already
It's almost a superpower.
encompassing.
I think it's a superpower.
Yeah.
You just want the good stuff.
I want the good stuff. But yeah, like maybe some things like the whole like tracking thing we talked about, I think there should be limits to that. Sure, like maybe I would want, you know, I would want to have access to like the username and password, but I wouldn't not keep it logged into my phone. I'd only want to use it if, let's say, I'm calling my kid 20 times and they're not picking up, no messages, and then like, man, did they get kidnapped or are they like in a ditch somewhere?
Of course.
Then I'm gonna track them. So you know, you need that safety kind of net, but again, you never know, right? Because sometimes these moms don't have self-control.
It could be like a standard mom thing as well.
A mom thing, yeah. So I think there's some quirks that, what do you think?
Well,
You're
that's
not
the
a
thing.
mom. You wouldn't be a mom.
Well, I guess for me, the analog would be like dad quirks. Like dad.
But we're not really talking about dad quirks.
But like if I had to put myself in your shoes, again, the cycle does continue because your mom was eventually, at one point, your mom was your age.
Yeah.
So.
And she apparently said the same things to her mom too. Apparently.
So like, are we that special that we're gonna break the cycle?
Yeah.
Like maybe not like.
I think it's like a gradual. You can't like suddenly go from like 10 to like something else, right? Like to 0 in terms of like differences. It's like, you know, each generation snips off like maybe a toxic trait that they see in Desi moms, and then that's it. You can't just like suddenly be like, all of these things I'm never gonna do.
Yeah. I think that's a healthy response.
Okay, ready?
You had a question, yeah.
Okay, so since on our podcast, right?
Yes.
I think this is a good question. I think I feel like a lot of podcasts that I've been watching recently, like I've been trying to research, they have either like 2 girls or 2 guys, but I don't see much where there's a girl and a guy. I think we have an advantage because then you can hear a female's perspective and a male's perspective.
Right.
And I think this question, I've seen it come up, but I've not yet heard a male's perspective on this, and I'm pretty sure people would want to hear the male perspective. I don't know if you count.
Wow.
No, but like the male perspective.
Maybe a male perspective.
A male perspective, right?
I'm not the male.
The
like,
male
I don't
perspective.
think.
So you don't have to talk about your actual experience, but like hypothetically, like if you had to go through it again, how do you approach your South Asian mother about wanting to date from a guy's perspective?
Okay, for me, my experience was very simple. I literally just asked, and it was awkward, obviously, because
I just had to ask.
Yeah, no, I hadn't talked about it before with them. Like, you kind of there's like a general understanding where it's like you're hanging out with this person a lot. You know, they don't mention it obviously, but they're like they notice it. They're obviously getting some like inclination, but then when you ask, it becomes formal. So for me, it was just straight up like just asking awkwardly, obviously, a lot of like, hee hee, can I date? like this, or like this. Can I have girlfriend, please? But overall, they were cool with me just asking, and I appreciate that.
This is infuriating. Man, guys have it easy, huh?
Well, that's just me.
But I think all guys have it easy. I feel like, you know, like I've heard so many stories where the guys are like, guy and girl dating, both of them are brown or whatever, Asian, and then girl is like super like paranoid and like, oh my god, I don't know if Montu Chacha's uncle's here or something, right?
Where are these names coming from?
I don't know, I think Montu is such a fun name. But like, let's say Montu uncle, right? She's like looking around, she's like at West Side, she's like, oh god, like, you know, it's like this auntie I know gonna be here, this uncle I know I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
So people like always start off dating in secret, like whatever, they're secretly dating.
Yeah.
But I've heard so many stories where, oh man, I hate this, like brown guys are so lacks awareness, right? And they'll be like, what's the big deal? Who cares if they see it?
Okay,
Who cares if they see it?
Going with this.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think brown girls have it much differently. You know, you talk to your mom about it. I think it depends, right? Like, I remember when I had to talk to my mom, I didn't even ask the question, and I already started crying. I was like, it's like I don't even
Too much
the
stress.
emotions. I was in the car and I'm like, Mom, and then she was like, yes. And then I just started bawling, right? And then she's confused because I didn't even ask anything. And she was like, what happened?
Are you confessing to something?
Yeah, and like I'm like crying as if I killed someone. I'm like, you're gonna hate me. It's like, it's like my brain jumped to the future and knew how the conversation was gonna turn out. And then it's just like I just, prepared myself earlier on. I'm like, I'm gonna cry eventually, might as well start
to get it lubricated up.
And then I'm like talking to her and I'm like, yeah, I like this person, like, right? And then I'm like, and I, like you just say it really fast. You're like, can I date him? But you know what? If you don't want me to date him, I don't have to date him. I really don't really like him that much, anyways. So I don't. He's kind of weird. So I don't need to really date him. But like, up to you. Like, what do you think, right? And I'm still crying. I think I had a better situation because my mom just started laughing, and then she was like, "Sure, like of course you can." She's like, it's fine. My situation's different. I don't know. I don't know all girls have the same. I think my way of approaching it was hilarious because it was just like a ramble. Like it's just like, and my mom was just like, okay, slow down.
Like in that ramble, you just threw out a bunch of insults.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's kind of ugly anyways. It's okay. Like, so, but I think other brown girls don't have that. Like my mom, she's a cool mom.
Yeah.
I'll say I admit it. My mom, I have a cooler mom. But I think other brown girls don't have that. They don't have that, what's it called? Privilege of having like a cool mom being like, yeah, like you can date, like that's fine. But
I think some brown moms nowadays just like put it up front. They're like, have you started dating yet?
No,
like
but that's different. That's different. That's age dependent, right? So for girls, up until age 25, you're not even allowed to look towards a man, right?
It's like like horses.
Yeah.
How, like horses have those like visors.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Exactly. So like you're not allowed to look towards a man, and it's funny because then again, not my situation, but from people I know and people I've seen, their moms would be like, you're not allowed to date. Focus on school. You need to have a good career, right? Girls will not look at a guy, or who knows. Some girls actually will like follow through and they won't date someone, or they will date in secret, whatever. But that's fine. And then the girls hit 25. Mom's like, why don't you have a guy?
Yeah.
What have you been doing? Why are you wasting your time? Where's the guy? Where's your husband? Right? You have to get married, right?
Yeah.
It's like it jumps from 0 to 100
right there.
And then the poor girls are looking at their mom and they're like,
with what skills?
they're like, excuse me, from all my life you told me not to look towards a man, right? But Chari, those girls who, because of this, they stop even liking guys, right? They become lesbian, right? That's like mom's. So I think.
I don't think is that a real issue?
I'm just joking. But can you imagine? It's like the mom's like, you're not allowed to take a guy. And she's like, all right, girls, it is.
I'll work with what I got.
I gotta work with what I got. And like, I don't blame them, right? Like, go for it. But I think it is very age dependent and mother dependent, right? You gotta have a chill mom. But it's also gender dependent. Like, as being a guy versus girl, I think guys have it easier. If my brother brought a girl home right now, I think my whole family would be much more accepting and welcoming.
He would be applauded. He'd be rewarded.
Rewarded, yeah. Girls, like you just gotta go through this like I talk to my mom first. Then you have to talk to my brother. Then I have to talk to my dad. You have to go through this like hierarchical step. Whereas a guy can go in front of his whole family and be like, all right, I'm dating a girl, and everyone. They'll be like, congratulations, son. Right?
Yeah.
So I think if I had a piece of advice for brown girls out there that want to date someone, right? I think the best way, I thought about this for a long time, the best way to go is first, especially unless you actually are, but like you gotta go up to your mom and tell her that you're gay.
Oh, so you're playing
right? You tell her that you're gay. You let her rile up for a few days, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? She's gonna be like stressed. She's gonna be like, oh my God. Like,
how am I gonna deal with this?
Like my daughter likes a girl. Oh my God. Like, right? Like, and then, after that little thing, one day you'd be like, you know what? I think
I do like this one guy.
I think I like, there is this one guy I like. the mom will be like, yes, bring him over. Bring him over.
It's like, what's aim high, hit low?
Aim high, hit low.
Hit low. What's aim high, A-H-H-L? Al.
But aim high, hit low. You give them a little bit of a little panic attack, and then you're like, you know, I like girls, but there's this one guy I like though. And then she'll be like, all right, yeah, 100%, go. I'm pretty sure that would work. But you gotta have the guts to be able to first tell your parents that you're gay.
Yeah.
So you gotta get past that.
And you never know, like if your parents are like with it, they might just like start sharing that news.
Oh man.
Like, and then it's like you're really in some deep trouble now.
Start looking for other girls. Yeah. Anyways, that was a good question.
Oh, that was a good one, yeah.
Okay, your last
My
question.
jaw hurts. Oh.
Last question.
Yes. It was the one from before.
Oh.
Do you want to skip that one?
Okay, no, I'll try doing it.
So you should define the term as poetically, like Desi Mom, as poetically and as few words as possible.
Okay. Desi moms want you to have freedom, but also want you home by 9 p.m.
Yes. Okay. No, that's perfectly sums up. Yeah.
Desi moms love you, but they'll give you chitter at the same time. They express their love through chitter sometimes.
Yes.
Doesn't have to always be physical, it can be verbal, emotional.
Desi Moms, superpowers, they have them, but sometimes they plot like supervillains. It's like it's like highlighting the dichotomy.
But nonetheless, though, I think Desi moms are their own species.
Yeah.
They're like a very distinct population. You put a bunch of Desi moms in a room, they could do anything.
Yeah.
They literally could do anything.
Very capable people.
You know, resourceful.
Yes. I think there's a difference between Desi Mom and Desi Auntie. Like, even though they can be physically the same person, they inhabit different roles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a room full of Desi moms could become like the same room could become a room full of Desi aunties.
That's a different case then.
With like a switch of a topic.
Yes.
Like when the conversation changes, Desi moms become Desi aunties.
Put a bunch of Desi moms in a room, it turns into kitty party.
What's a kitty party?
They like kitty party. You've never heard of it?
No.
Maybe it's like a Punjabi thing. It's like they come to parties like once a month, and they each contribute like a bit of money.
Okay.
And then every month, it's like a lottery system. One of the women win all the money. It's like gambling.
Except like there's
Like
tea
a lottery.
involved. Is there tea involved? Is there like a lot?
Yeah, and then they sit there, they talk, gossip.
Okay. So the main reason is just getting together and talking.
Yeah, and
but
then
the money's like an
throughout,
excuse.
throughout the whole year, then everyone at least gets their money back somehow.
Or they don't. That one unlucky auntie. Just,
Yeah. Are you ready for my last question?
Oh, you still have one more?
Yeah, you started, remember?
Oh, right, yeah. I think we had some good phrases there.
Okay. Okay. Do you find that as we get older, it's getting harder to raise our parents?
Raise our parents? Yo, I think I know exactly what you mean.
Let's talk about it.
There is a back and forth.
There is a back and forth.
Because at this age, once you get past 20, once you graduate, you realize that your parents are not perfect.
No.
Definitely not.
They turn into kids.
Like they become more like kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Like my dad orders a bunch of stuff from like I don't know what's like Temu, like however you want to say it, and then returns half of it and makes me return it because he doesn't want to go to the post office and give him a box.
No, yeah.
So it's like childish behavior. Just don't order that much stuff, or if you're going to return it, do it yourself, right? But and there is like I know what you mean.
It's like until we're 18, they're raising us.
Yeah.
And it's like suddenly, as soon as we turn 18, they're like, all right, our work is done, and now it's your turn.
Well, like it's like a 50-50. I'd say it becomes more of a 50-50. Like before 18, it's like 100% they're raising you. And then after, it becomes like you have to start teaching them about technology, teaching them about like...
But I think Desi, not even just moms, okay, I'll speak specifically about moms, but they're so hard to raise. Like I think I'm at an age where I'm realizing like, man, I think I was a better kid than they are right now.
That's a very bold claim to make.
Well, if they told me to do something, you know, I might do it. No, I might make some issues for a bit, and then I'll do it, right? But like for my parents, like if I'm telling them to do something that's good for their health, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll be like, excuse me, right?
Just flat out refusal.
Like, they're so hard to raise. Like they send their son to med school, right? Their daughter to dental school.
Yeah.
Right? My brother's in med school, I'm in dental school. My brother's almost a doctor in a few months. My dad has, like, the doctor will give him medication. My dad will just, you look at the prescription and be like, nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not taking it. And I'll call my brother, I'm like, hey, you want to talk to dad and explain to him why he should take these medications?
Yeah.
You know? You put your son in med school, only for you not to believe him, right? Then my brother will explain it, he's like, no. These doctors, both my parents, nonsense. They just want to like give you drugs in their system, right? We don't need this, all the side effects, all that. And my brother's like, okay, but you probably should
take it.
Right? I'm a dental student, right? My mom, they both have like dental issues. I'll be like, you guys should get it checked out. We don't need it. We don't need to do that. They're so hard to convince them to do anything. And we're doing it for their benefit. I actually feel like a parent in my own house. My brother and I both. We'll be like calling, my brother will be on the phone and the speaker will be on, I'll be there, and my mom will be sitting there. And we're both like yelling at my mom and we'll be like, oh my God, just do this, right? Like just do this, it's good for your health. Or just use this, it's good for your health. Take this, it's good for your health.
And my mom will be like, do it.
Oh, I'll do it next week. And we'll be like, we know you. They'll be like, you know,
that's the exact same thing we said.
That's what we said. She'll be like, I'll start from next week. I'm like, no, you're not going to. It's been years. Next week's been going every single like year, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very hard. And the whole like Temu thing, it's like now that I've grown older, I realize my mom has such an Amazon addiction.
Yes. My mom isn't on Amazon, but she keeps asking. It's like, are you ordering anything from Amazon? And I'm like, no, why? It's like, I want to order something. I'm like, you can set up your own account, but she won't do that. Like, she won't go as far as like set up her own account. Yeah. Like, even though she totally could, she just doesn't want to deal with it, right? She's like, are you ordering on Amazon? I want to order something, but I'm just never ordering anything. So it's like, I guess. No,
my mom has an account.
Oh no.
Well, it's like my brother and her share it.
Okay.
Man, like some of the things she'll order is just like useless.
Like what?
I'll be like, why are you ordering this? I don't know. Like when my cousin's sister came, right? She was sitting with my mom, and then she came up to me and she's like, man, Masi orders the most random things on Amazon, and like every day there's something coming, right? And I'm like, this is such like a, this is something I can see maybe I would have done. I would never got into
like
online
always
shopping.
Get toys and stuff.
But like always not toys.
Like if you're younger. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna order toys for myself.
But like you'd imagine like a younger child is the one bringing in stuff into the house.
Yeah, or like even as a teen, like if I was ordering stuff like clothes and everything, like I would see that. But I really didn't do it. But like I think my mom does it now.
Yeah.
And, like I'll see a package and I'll go and pick it up. I'm like, Mom, another one? And she's like, it wasn't me this time, it was your dad. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? Both of them have an online shopping addiction. And the whole like not listening for anything to do with your health, and I know it's not just my parents. Mm-hmm. I know it's so many other people's parents.
It can't be, yeah.
Kids will tell their parents like, "Hey, you know what? I think cardio would be really good for your heart, like your heart health."
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. I'll be like, "Kuch nahi hota," right? I'll be like, "Okay, I think you should cut down on butter and ghee."
Yeah.
Like, no, ghee's good for you. It lubricates your joints.
Like,
I don't want arthritis.
Where did that come from?
I'm like, brother.
Yo, speaking about that. When it comes to food and they see parents, they come up with like the weirdest like connections. Like I swear my mom told me to eat tomatoes because it'll increase my like blood count, like the amount of blood I have. Because I think red tomato equals red blood. And another thing, she didn't let me drink tea when I was young because she thought it had nicotine in it. Nicotine. I think I think she thought it was like I think she thought nicotine was caffeine. So I think that's where the confusion happened. But like I heard nicotine and I was like, huh? In tea? Nicotine? Like I was young enough to know I was old enough to know what nicotine was, but not old enough to be like, that can't be right.
You're like, all right, if you say so.
Also, when it comes to raising parents, I think they've gotten to that point where it's like, if I'm with them, like my mom, she likes plants, like big plants. Yeah. So she saw this on Kijiji. Somebody was giving away plants. And if she just went alone, she would have looked at the plants and be like, oh, that's nice, but we can't really take it home with us. It's fine. But she'll be like, Bhavya, come on, let's go check this plant out. And then I become that like the parent in the situation where it's like, we can get this in the car, and then I'll enable her to take the plant home. Where it's like, if you think about like a couple when you're younger, you're the one like looking towards your parent to be like, you know,
Should we get it?
Yeah, should we get it?
Yeah, my mom does that too.
See, it's like it flips.
Yeah, she does that because she will be like out and then she'll look at it and she'll like, Lily?
Yeah.
Right, should we get it?
And they're looking for you for permission.
Yeah.
Or like some kind of what's it called? Gratification? No.
I think
Confirmation? Validation.
Validation.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And it's kind of funny because now that we can drive, right? One time my brother was driving us and it was my brother and I were sitting at the front and my parents were like, we'll sit at the back seat. And it was so funny. It was like the most stereotypical thing, right? We like we were going away from a restaurant and then my dad and mom were like, let's go get ice cream. And my brother and I were like, nah, let's not.
Oh, the flip.
No, it's crazy.
Flip.
And my brother and I were like, no, we're not feeling it. They're like, come on, a McDonald's soft serve ice cream. And then I'm like, I don't want ice cream. Sometimes I'll be sitting home and I'll be studying and my parents will be like, hey, let's go get some ice cream. I'm like, no, I'm not craving ice cream.
So we can't just get ice cream randomly, yeah.
And then you know what they'll do? Then they'll make you feel bad. They're like, okay, if you don't want ice cream, then I guess no one will get ice cream. And I'm like, if you want ice cream, get ice cream. They're like, no, we're only gonna get it if you get it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, man, it's just, I swear, raising parents needs like a whole other segment.
We should talk about that.
It's such a common thing now, I think, for people our age right now.
Yeah.
Like people who are in their 20s, early 20s for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like raising parents. And I think there are some people that actually like throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Right?
That they give up?
They give up.
Yeah.
They're just so overwhelmed, like I can't. They'll try to be telling their parents things to do for their health benefit, for their benefit in general, and parents just don't want to listen. And then they get tired because it feels like they're raising their kid, like they're raising their own kids. And then then there are people like us who are just like,
you want this tree? Yeah, we can.
Let's get you the tree.
We can put it in the back of the car, drive 40, and then hope it doesn't fall out.
Yeah,
but the tree was actually a really good call. Like, I think they were trying to sell it for $250, but because they were moving, my mom just got it down to 25. So
it's hard bargaining.
Bargaining is another superpower of moms. Like, they do it so nicely. It's not like what you imagine, where it's like, I'll do $10, and then they go back and forth, like 10, 50, 25.
Yeah.
No, it's like, haha, can I have 25? It's like, yeah, sure. It's like,
yeah, they see a cute little mom, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's just raising parents, man, is something crazy. I know there's so many
there's a lot more to talk about, but I think we got to save that for another episode.
But that was my last
I'll take notes about that, because like I'm doing it, but I haven't made a.
But you never thought about it, huh?
Yeah,
I've thought about it a lot. I think recently it hit me when I noticed my brother and I really trying to push my mom specifically.
Health-wise, yeah.
Like for like health decisions, be like, go take your blood test, right? Take it, and she'll be like delaying it. So I think that was it though.
Oh, it's 1 o'clock. How long have you been recording for?
An hour.
That's crazy. I think we got through everything. How do you want to end this, like, the podcast off? Because that's like an ending videos.
A nice little disclaimer.
A disclaimer at the end.
Yeah.
After all the pitchforks have been raised and torches have been lit.
We still love brown moms.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were doing this.
There's no animosity towards brown moms.
Of course not.
They're just, they're a wild,
different species.
They're a wild bunch.
Wild bunch, yeah.
Fun one.
We gotta have some brown moms on this podcast, I think, and see their perspective.
Man.
Well, some. We'll get our moms on the podcast.
I don't know if my mom would come.
You don't think so? Maybe in a while, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
But for now, yeah, it's all love for moms of all kinds.